How are you guys? Hope everyone is doing great. Lots of familiar faces on today. Super excited. Hey, Angie. Hi, Amy. Hi, Ethan. Hi, Jen. I'm still battling laryngitis, so it's coming and going. So we'll see how hopefully it stays good for me while we're on here. It's raining where I am, so dreary morning. So we need mindset more than ever. I feel like this morning, at least I do, as I'm getting ready to drive in this mess. By the way, hi, Cody. Oh, good morning. It's cold in Kentucky. Is it cold? Are you guys cold? I'm like, holy crap, what happened to the weather? 57. Wow.
Happy fall.
Happy fall is right. Oh my gosh. I'm like, this is crazy. This hit quicker than normal. Okay, guys. So I am excited to get started, and I know we have people watching on Facebook too. So welcome from Facebook Live in our group. Okay, so I like to start with this, and definitely today, what is one thing that you are grateful for today? If you would type it in the chat, I love to see what everyone else is grateful for. And I believe that it gets us in a really great mindset space just to go over our gratefuls. And interestingly enough, Emily, great one. Oh my gosh, my life and opportunities. Love that. Thank you so much. Health, family, and friends. Yep, Cody, that's always one. I was getting ready to say, I am grateful more than ever for my health. So for those of you that have been doing this SPAR challenge, I am super bummed that I hurt my knee. I've never had an injury in my life. I'm not like the athletic sorts. So I've never experienced an injury, and I've injured my knee, and I had to drop out of it because I can't do anything. In fact, I've been trying to get into an ortho today and tomorrow. So anyway, sorry that I couldn't continue that. Adam has still been doing his every morning, and I know many of you have, which is awesome. Oh, water fitness. Amy, that's good. Maybe I could start doing that. You're muted. It's okay. I think you're muted. But
you should, that's really what you should do. Yeah, because it's good.
That is a good idea.
And you feel really young because everybody there's 80 plus. Yeah.
So I'll feel great about myself. Okay, perfect. That is a good idea. Oh, Pam, happy anniversary. You and Bill are such great role models, and I'm so grateful for you guys. I hope you have a wonderful anniversary. That is so awesome. Love it, love it. Okay, guys. We are going to get started today. Oh, Ashley can give me, oh, good. Does Ashley have a bad knee? Okay, I'm texting her today. Yes, 2 bad knees. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I have pity on her because I've been like the biggest baby for the last couple of days, and it's miserable. I'll be texting Ashley. Thanks, Troy. Okay, guys. So this is just a quick reminder for any of you that did your vision boards at the beginning of the year. I revisited mine yesterday. So it's fun to revisit. I know we're a little more than halfway through the year, but I just wanted to gently remind you guys to pull those back out and maybe look at some of the things that you have and or haven't achieved. I'm still super bummed that I missed my 365-day streak on the day I was traveling. But I'm back up to like 74 days, which is good for my Bible app. But just wanted you to revisit those. And then before we know it, we'll be doing them again for next year. Okay, today we're going to revisit something we did. Well, I did. I don't know if all of you guys did. A super attractor book club, and I have been thinking about this again. So I want to talk about this, and I'll go kind of quick, but there's some questions, and I really urge you to answer those questions. So the super attractor book, I actually looked for it this morning on my color-coded bookshelf, and I think it's in Charleston. I don't have it with me. But if you have never read Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein, I would highly advise you or urge you to read that. It is great. It's all about alignment. I wish Sarah Weber were on here right now because she would share with you guys how it completely kind of changed her life. It is spiritual based. So no matter if you're faith based or kind of what you believe or who you believe in, she kind of goes through different exercises in different ways. But the thing I want to talk about today is the universe always delivering. And for you, that might be spiritual or faithful. It might just be the universe. But the first thing is talking about alignment. And so this is something I've worked on my coach, Terry, with for a lot of years now, probably 3 or 4 years. And that is just being in alignment. So when you are in alignment, you are happy, you're excited regardless of circumstances. And actually, that was my devotion yesterday morning. You're hopeful and positive even when you face challenges. You're not worried or stressed or focused on problems, because we all have problems, right? Good things flow to you, people support you, and you find a way through every block. That's when you are mentally in alignment. When you are in misalignment with yourself and your mindset, you can be focused on outside goals and objectives rather than the joy of life. Just curious, raise your hand if you feel like you've ever been focused on outside goals and objectives rather than the joy of life. Anybody besides me? Okay, yes. Thank you, Angie and Dawn. Okay. And I think even if for those of us, I know we have a lot of people that, thank you, Curtis. Yes, Curtis raised his digital hand. For those of us that are in the real estate business, I know a lot of us are not on the call, but for those of us that are, or even any entrepreneur, it feels like we're focused on so many other things a lot of the time rather than the joy of life. You try to control your circumstances, you can begin to be resentful, your energy is low, you're physically ill, you struggle to get things done, and you cut off the flow of inspiration. And a lot of times what I talk about on Wednesday mornings are things that I need. And so I've been a little physically ill and energy low. So I've been pulling this back out because I think sometimes when we get worn down, we can also get misaligned. So I want you to answer this question. Gabrielle Bernstein says, we become out of alignment when we get hooked into fear-based low energy thoughts. So jot this down or just think about this if you're driving. What does alignment actually mean to you? And can you think of an example? And if you even want to type it in the chat, that would be extra amazing. Can you think of an example when you've been out of alignment and or when you've been in alignment? And I don't think that we're always in alignment 100% of the time. I think we have ebbs and flows of times where we're like, man, we're really in alignment. And then we have times where we're like, okay, we're totally misaligned. Those are usually my coaching calls with Terry when I'm like, okay, now that I know what it is, because remember, when you know something, you can't unknow it ever again. So once you know when you're in alignment or not in alignment, you can quickly spot it. And it's interesting because I can tell instantly when I'm out of alignment on things. So I always talk to Terry and say, okay, I got to get back in alignment. And so then she'll ask me a series of questions. Dawn posted something very great. Don't ever take false counsel from your fears. And I love that because we all have them. And I don't know about you guys, but I just continue to feel like there's so much fear just in our world right now. It's like even down to even down to you sneeze and you're like, oh my God, do I have COVID? Or we're fearful about all these things that are happening. And it's easy for our lives to get wrapped up into things just being fear-based thoughts. So she talks next about tough experiences. And can you think of a time where you've had like a tough time or you've just gone through something that was maybe challenging for you, but you gain, oh my gosh, there's Sarah Weber popping in right now. And I already talked about her. Sarah, I already talked about you. You were on too late. Sorry, sis. I'll have to catch you up. Can you think of a tough time, but then you gained great wisdom from it? Because even when we have challenges, we still gain great things from it, right? We always get wisdom. She says, when you let a difficult situation dominate your life, you actually give that the power and the momentum. And so why do you think it's easy to fall into this? Does anybody want to type in the chat why they feel like it's easy to fall into giving power to other things? I love Curtis said, knowing the vision for what I want for my life and future, but not having the right who's in my life. Oh, Curtis, that's a great point, because a lot of times when we feel misalignment, it usually can be because we're missing a person, or in business, it could be systems. But we might even be missing just alone time. We might be missing a person. We might be missing getting back close with what our like big why is, or why we do what we do every day. I think sometimes it's, Dawn, let me read yours. I don't know if it's fear or uncertainty. I guess they're close to the same thing. Yeah, totally agree with that. I think sometimes it's easy to fall into this based on the people that we're around. I don't know if any of you are at a point in your life or ever have been where the circle that you're around can sometimes be just negative. And so you give power to more negative thoughts, and then you have difficult situations, and then you give into the power and the momentum. Another time I think it's easy to fall into this, which I'm being careful of this right now, is when we're worn down, or when you've been like very just busy, and then when difficult things happen, then you tend to get where you're just, you're totally in a rut. I got the greatest coaching advice ever one time, and this person said, do everything you can in life to avoid getting in a rut, because it's hard as hell to get out of a rut. And so you have to do everything you can to avoid getting into a rut. And so sometimes I think when we're worn down, or when we aren't taking the time for the things that give us joy, it's easy to fall into the tough experiences and giving them power and momentum. So Gabby works through a 3-step choose again method. And it's basically, step 1 is you notice the thought. So when you're going through a difficult time, and or even just a fear-based time or anything like that, and you're sensing yourself to have a negative thought, first you have to realize that you're actually having the negative thought. And for most of us, we think that that's easy, but think about people that that are negative, that don't know that they're negative. They don't notice their negative thought. So step 1 is noticing the thought, and then step 2 is forgiving the thought, and really being able to say, okay, I just had a horrific thought, and it wasn't the right thought, and so I'm just gonna forgive that thought, and then I'm going to choose again, and I'm going to think a thought in a positive direction. It's kind of like hard to grasp this at the first time, but for those of you that have read the book, once you kind of go through this a couple of times, you'll find yourself all the time being like, oh my gosh, why did I just think that negative thought? Okay, I'm just going to forgive that thought, and now I'm just going to think a new thought. Ethan, I love forgive the thought. How often do we set the guilt? Yes. That's it. It's the guilt. And guilt is not a positive mindset for anybody to be in. And those of you that study Brene Brown, I think I have tons of her books back here. Spotted One, Dare to Lead. She goes over guilt and shame, and just the fact of like, when you sit in guilt, it's just a terrible, terrible thought. So she talks about, no matter where you are in the world, you cannot hide from the negative energy of everything around us. We're always going to have negative energy around us. Our minds are always going to be under attack. We're always going to have a mindset that we have to work on, which is why I choose to work on it every single day, because you just never know when you get in a rut, right? So the question to ask right now is, how much negativity do you feel is out in the world right now around you? I would be interested to hear in the chat. Yes or no, if you feel like there's a lot of negativity out in the world around us right now. And yes, Emily, I agree so much. I think we have a lot, unfortunately, that we just hear. So she says, remember that we can't hear intuitive guidance from the universe until we're willing to ask for help. And so that's why I've been spending a lot of time in just devotion, and I'm a person of faith. So getting my morning, I know Heather knows, I'm like, okay, this morning I did like 30 minutes, and yesterday was really hard. So I'm waking up 30 minutes early tomorrow because I'm spending an hour. So I think you just have to know that and realize those things. Troy, I love what you said. Troy said, my version of the bold law, can't remember the exact words. You don't control your first thought. You do control every thought after that. Yeah, totally, totally true. And that is exactly what the last slide was, when even if you have the thought, you can't control it, but you can control what you think next. Yeah, Lynn, I totally agree with you. It's unfortunate that we have a lot of negativity around us, but we have to be willing to ask for help. And sometimes it's just the universe. Like she tells the story in her book, and she's a person of faith. So sometimes she'll talk about that, but she'll say, that she'll ask the universe for signs. And when I very first read this, I was like, okay, is this kind of like kooky, or I don't really know if I'm into this or not. But then as I dug deeper and continued to read, I started doing when I was doing my morning walks, I would kind of do that. And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to kind of go through this and like do it in a spiritual way. And so I was trying to make a big decision, and it was just weird, and I couldn't make the right decision. A lot of you know, it's really hard for me to make big decisions like that. I need the actual bus with the sign on the side of the bus drive in front of my car. Like basically it needs to hit my car for me to make a decision. And so I was like, okay, so she says, ask the universe to show you these signs. And I'm not into like, and if you are, that's totally fine. But I wasn't going to be like, show me a yellow flower in, this like field. So I was like, okay, I'm asking for like a sign and just show me a cross. I am not kidding you guys. On my walk that morning, on like probably a, 3-mile walk around our old neighborhood in Charleston, I saw 6 crosses in people's yards that I had never seen before, that I walked the same walk every single time. Some of them were small. One of them was like this huge yellow one that was like, I'll never forget it. It was massive and it was in front of these people's front door. And so it just was a good reminder of being able to, of just be willing to ask for intuitive guidance. So can you think of a time when you chose not to hear something, or maybe you did choose to hear something, and what the difference was? And she says GOD stands for good, orderly direction. And so she really says, what does that mean to you? And do you actually ask for good, orderly direction, whether it's from the universe or whether you're a person of faith and you're asking for it that way? I need to check my battery. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Oh, 6%. Okay, I'll plug up. So here's the thing that I want to end with. Begin your day in alignment. And there's a page in the book. I don't have it with me, so I'm going to post it in the Facebook group. But how do you begin your day? And I just really want you to ask that. And for years, I began my day in a crappy way, very crappy way. And sometimes I still can fall back into tendencies. So I just like make myself. But how do you begin your day, and what needs to change about how you begin your day in order for you to be in alignment? And for a lot of us, that can be hard. Yes, I will give. Yes, Angie, super attractor. You would actually love this book, Gabrielle Bernstein. And we will post a link to, I actually have a link, I think maybe with a discount for Amazon for this book, since we did the book club. So what needs to change about your morning and how you begin your day? And then this is interesting. I love this. Did you guys know this? When we sleep, we release resistance to negative thoughts. That means that when you wake up, you actually have a clean slate in front of you, and it's an opportunity to release the negativity from the day before and just begin again. And I think that is fascinating. And I actually never knew that until I read this book. But how would you rate yourself on your morning routine on a scale of 1 to 5? And for those of you that are super bold, I would love for you to type it in the chat. Now, I'm going to say right now in my life, I'm a 4, but that's because I've been very intentionally working on it for probably the last 8 months. But how would you rate yourself on your morning routine on a scale of 1 to 5? 1, Amy's a 1. She's doing thumbs down. Yeah, maybe 3, 2, 2, 2, lots of 2s, Curtis is a 1. Amy, he's right there with you. 3 days that are filmed, I believe you to be specific. I totally agree, Curtis. I do believe you have to be specific. 2, 3, Shenandoah 1. Yes, it is. You have to be intentional with your mornings. Troy, that surprises me. I know you used to be someone that I was like, man, he has a good morning routine, but you've also moved. So you have a little weird switcheroo happening right now. So we'll give you grace. But I love this. She says, a single shift in our behavior can redirect our entire day. So I'm going to post in the Facebook group from page 19 in the book, because I thought I had it here and I don't, but the morning mantras, niche, potato, however you say that word. I'm going to post those in the Facebook group. And I really want you guys to consider reading those. And then where could you put these so that you could incorporate them into your morning routine, because they are great. And then just be honest with yourself. And how could you see yourself just realigning your mind to start your day in a better place so that you can attract all that's supposed to be for you in your life that day? Because when you are in that mindset, you can attract those things. And then I'm going to post so that you guys can pick which one is your favorite one. So we'll put that in the group and we'll send those to everybody as well. And then lastly, I'm sharing my new favorite formula: focused intensity over time multiplied by God equals unstoppable momentum. And you can't see it. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. Okay, that didn't work, but I have it on my laptop. Right here on a little sticker. And I did just get my stickers in. They're not high quality, so I've been nervous to mail them out, but I may still mail them anyway. I think I ordered the wrong ones because Heather should have done it, not me. because I didn't get the good ones. She would have gotten great ones. But I just love this. And I had never heard it before. And I heard it from John Maxwell 3 weeks ago. And so I love it. I think it's so, so, so great. So that is right at 20 minutes and 4% left, what I have today. And so I hope that you guys will take something good away from this and go make it a great rest of your week. And we'll post the morning mantras and then you guys can pick your favorite one and kind of reset. And then I would challenge you for the next 7 days, just try to reset in your morning, see if you can get on your better morning routine. And then next Wednesday, we can see how everybody did and go from there. So thanks for being on. Thank you guys. Have a great, thanks, Monica. Have a great rest of your day. Stay dry if you're in Kentucky. Whew. See you guys. Bye.